Everybody, welcome to Our Life Live. We're starting soon. As you're joining us, just let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from so we can shout you out, but stay tuned. I've got one painting for you today. All right, first comment in. Big shout out to Nicole Robbins. Hello to you. Welcome. Let me know who's tuning in right now before we start. As always, Amanda Bradford checking in. Hello. Back to you. Kathy Alvarez, hello to you. And Iris Mayer, Cassandra Tucker from Palm Springs and still working. We're gonna start soon, guys, in like, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute. Art Life Live, Wednesday, Friday. Oh my God, it's Friday. All right, we're gonna start in 30 seconds, I swear, I promise. All right, let's get this started. All right, welcome to Our Life Live. My name is David Garibaldi, and today we're gonna celebrate a couple days of the week. It all makes sense soon. Welcome, let's paint.
My name is David Garibaldi, and I paint live. As I paint, let's talk about Art Life Live starts now.
All right, welcome everybody. It is Friday. I was just reminded that it's not Wednesday, it's Friday. My name is David Garibaldi. Welcome to Art Life Live. Those of you who are new, I create these large portraits in minutes to music, like that blank canvas behind me. We're gonna transform that over the course of this Art Life Live session. I've got one painting for you, but before we get to that, I wanna do some shout outs. I wanna say hello. Let me ask two things from you. If you're new, let me know you're new. If you're new, just type new in the comments. If you're back, just say I'm back. Okay, three things. Also, where are you tuning in from? Where in the world are you? City, your state, your country. I just need to know where you're tuning in from before we start. So quick shout outs to, Cassandra Tucker is tuning in from Palm Springs, watching this on Facebook. Zoe Luna saying hello back to you on YouTube. Paula Villa on Facebook. Blah, I think that's your name. It says Blah. So you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Says hello, much love from London. I appreciate you tuning in. It's probably early in the morning in London, right? It's probably super early there. So Shannon Hamilton, hello to you. Iris Mayer's asking how are the family doing? Chadi's a little under the weather. Kids are great, but we're gonna We're gonna get back to the family after this live session. Carolina, watching from Boston. I see Ricky in Sacramento. Shout out your city. Let's see, Cassandra is back. And I'm gonna read some more comments over here. Roosevelt Witten, you made it. Every time Roosevelt's like, I missed it. You're here. I appreciate you being here. Darren Peterson, watching from Plumas Lake, California. So someone said it's 9:30 in the UK. I guess it's not that. Is that morning? In the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, PM. Oh, so it's not even, it's like before bedtime if you go to bed at around that time. So Jody watching from Minnesota. I'm gonna check in real quick with TikTok and Instagram. Where are you guys tuning in from over here?
Germany.
All right, we got Germany.
Switzerland.
By the way, Marseille, ciao, back to you. Canada. Turkey. Eva is back from Austria. Sorry about that. Austria. Bolivia's tuning in on Mexico. I see Alex from Dubai. Welcome back. What was that, Mexico?
Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia. Illinois. So we're just shouting out. We're live on several different platforms right now. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. Is that it? Hold on. I know there's another one. I probably missed. Oh, Twitch. That's right. So Marseille is in Italy. Welcome. I see someone from Roseville, which is the Sacramento area. Kathy Pullis. Hello from Biloxi, Mississippi, the Gulf Coast. All right, so real quick, today's show, I've got one painting for you, and we have some special guests in the house today. I would consider her one of my biggest collectors. You've collected like almost everything, so we may say hello later on. I don't know, I don't want to put them on the spot, but welcome. Thank you guys for being here. And you know, I've got one painting for you. It's an image that I've done before. It's a different version of it, but we haven't done it with this like recent, you know, change in our live streaming, you know, setup. So I just wanted to capture this moment. This person has a song on the charts, and I'm excited to create it. So if you guys are ready on TikTok and Instagram, if you're ready over here on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope, do me a favor, leave your questions below. I'm gonna do my best to answer as many as I can throughout this live stream, or just any comments you have, whatever you're feeling in the moment, leave them in the comments below, and we'll shout you out. But all together, wherever you are in the world, if you're ready, all together, let me hear you. Let's paint. On over here, I'm gonna bring this water. All right. Welcome everybody, welcome over here. I gotta just get a quick swig of water. I've been drinking coffee all morning, so I got the energy. I just need to hydrate. I'll put that, actually I'm gonna put it here. All right. Let me grab a couple brushes. I think the one thing I didn't organize enough before was where my brushes were, so bear with me. All right, so before we start, as always, ask your questions down below in the comments. No matter what platform you're watching this on, we're gonna do our best to answer your questions. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this process. I'll try to explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it, but welcome to Art Life Live. Let's paint. So I always love to start with this undertone, but as I'm doing that, let me know where you're tuning in from. I don't know how this video found you, if you're just watching this live, if you're watching this later, you know, if an algorithm sent it to you, I don't know. Either way, I'm grateful that you're here. But if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them below in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer. If you have watched these live streams before, you know that this part of the process, I am adding what I call, and it's an art term, the undertones. These are colors that I want to really create a richness in the final image. So these are things that will stand out later on. And also, at the same time, it helps me block in my starting points and proportion on this image. So a lot of you that are asking, a lot of you always ask, what are some of the techniques? So I have a reference image nearby, and because I don't necessarily, I use these marks to help me gauge proportion, gauge parts of the portrait that I'm going to create. So try to use undertones to do that. Let's see. I've mentioned I've painted this image before of this person, but I don't think I've ever done this particular one of them. So if you're watching this live, leave your guesses below. If you're watching this later, you know who it is. Oh, that's a great question. So someone just asked, why do I like leaving a handprint on the canvas? First off, it's fun to just slap paint on a canvas. Second is the person who had started this style of painting, his name is Denny Dent. And I hope you get time to look that up, to Google him. Denny Dent fathered this style, and the type of style that this is performance painting. So normally we're on stage performing in front of a live audience. And when I'm doing that, you know, it's an entertaining show or an experience. And so when I want the audience to just know and feel that it's complete, the painting is done, I just like to slap my hand to do that. I still hand sign it, so somewhat of a way it is part of the signature, but it's just an indication that this painting is complete. It's also a way to pay respects to Denny Dent and any other performance painter that came before me. All right, thank you for the question. Keep asking them down below. By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to just throw them out there. Do not be shy here. All right. So feel free to ask some more below. I'm gonna mix some colors on the wall. It's actually a little too dark. There we go. I just spent some time to get a new color palette, and I'm super happy with it because, you know, normally I'm mixing a lot of these colors as I go. I have, I don't know, maybe, I think now I have at least 20 something colors here, but I use those colors and mix them as I go so that I can really create any color that the image calls for. Don't forget to leave your guesses below. Ask your questions. Ooh, someone just asked, do I miss painting in front of a live audience? Yes, I do. This is the closest I get to it, but I would say there's two differences between the two, and I love them equally. With a live audience, I'm painting in sort of a much different form and fashion, where it's more about the entertaining experience for the live audience and using the music and the sound and all of that. Here, I feel like it's like an educational process. You know, I feel like I'm sharing what I'm doing, which I can't really do on stage, and I don't really like to do. I like to just be in the moment, create, and here I can share a lot more. So as much as I do miss it, I've also gained a love for this and just creating during these live sessions. I've also been learning how to actually talk while I'm painting, which is not always easy. But thank you for that question. Keep those questions coming. I'm sure some of you may start to see this image start to come to life. I'm gonna leave it right there real quick. I'm gonna go down here, take a look at some comments that you guys are leaving below. So blah on YouTube, you guessed it, of course, it's coming to life. I'm gonna let you in on that. Iris Meyer said, I loved your performance in Amsterdam last year. Thank you. I actually spent about a week in Amsterdam before that show and loved it. Let's see. So James said, are you excited for Black is King coming by Beyonce? Super excited about that. Beyonce is not only one of my favorite musicians, but she is a visionary. Is that the right term for it? Incredible, so I can't wait to see that. And then, all right, I'm gonna answer this question. So Dominic asked, what was my childhood like? I'm sure my mom will hop on here and start commenting, but you know, I was born in Los Angeles. My parents were very hardworking and creative. You know, my parents actually met dancing. So I grew up in a creative family. My dad played music as well when he was growing up. But, you know, we ended up in Sacramento when I was very young, about maybe 5 years old. And it's just been home since then. So growing up, you know, we grew up in South Sacramento / Elk Grove area as we were growing up. And as a young artist or creator, I always felt that it was something that it was a calling of mine. And luckily I had very encouraging parents that, you know, wanted to make sure that I was putting to work this creative sense that I had. Let me do, actually no, we'll leave that color. So you know, it was a mixture of just growing up in Sacramento, but also, I don't know, I love the city. I still live here in Sacramento. It's still home. Another fun fact about my childhood, believe it or not, I actually grew up in my mom's hair salon. Like, I spent so much time with my mom. Maybe that's why I don't have hair anymore. I was just sick of it after all those years being around it. But I remember she would put me to work. I would sweep hair, I would answer the phone, I would make appointments for her. And it was a very interesting part of my upbringing because I started to learn firsthand about hard work ethic and applying it to creativity. And I hate the fact that artists get this stereotype that artists are lazy, and I don't think that that's true. I think that you know, there's a lot of really talented artists out there that work very hard, and my mom, as a hairstylist, showed me firsthand how you can apply a hard work ethic to creativity. So. All right, we'll go over here and get that. Do you guys have any questions? What's that? Oh yeah. Okay. I think she guessed who it is. Yes. All right. Let's get some more white. You know, the one thing I do miss most about performing on stage is actually the movements, like actually moving quickly on stage and performing. So maybe one day during one of these lives, I will just perform like I did on stage in that same speed. But for now, I'm just really enjoying this, you know, just painting with you guys and sharing. All right, I'm gonna ditch this. I'm gonna get, I believe this is a dark purple. Actually, we're gonna use this dark purple. I'm gonna give some indication of some other parts of this image. Using this purple on the skin tone, and also, let's use it up here on the hair. Any questions over there on Instagram or TikTok? So someone asked, what's the longest it's taken to paint a portrait? I would say in these live sessions, I think I've spent as much as 30 minutes to actually maybe 45 minutes on a single portrait during the live session. In just life and, you know, in the past, you know, it varies. I would say, I mean, I've spent, weeks maybe on a single painting. It just really depends on what it is. All right, I'm gonna get some of these reds. Create some highlights where they're in the glasses. All right, so someone asked, who was the first person that I painted? The first portrait that I ever painted when I started painting, it was in my dad's garage because I was living with him at the time. The first painting was Jimi Hendrix, and it was a popular image that Denny Den had done, and I feel like the profile Jimi Hendrix is a great way to start this process because you deal with a lot of shapes, and this is about connecting shapes. You create, whether it's circle for highlights, boxes for forehead sections, and so on. The Hendrix one was a great one to start with. So if you're starting to get into performance painting or live painting, I highly recommend that profile of Jimi Hendrix. Give it a try. You'll learn so much in that process. All right. Keep those questions coming. I'm going to get a little light purple here. I'm going to add this to the eye. We'll get back to that. I'm going to mix this dark brown with a little white to create kind of like a brown French gray. I think that's what they call it. I just want to give a little bit more indication to the hair, a little more definition. So someone asked, do I have a favorite painting? I always say this, but my favorite painting is always my next. So right now, this is my favorite one. I think that's, and then after that, it'll be the next painting I do after that. Those are always my favorite ones. I just don't like to stay in the past in general. I mean, I know that it could come off as a very simple question, but I just like to create and then move on, learn from whatever I had done already, and then just keep it moving. Read some comments down below. Let's see. So Cassandra Tucker said, I love that you do music videos with artists. I started following you after seeing the Hunter Hayes rescue music video. So those of you that may not know this, but recently we started doing some music videos for the release of Juice WRLD's new album. But I don't know if you knew this already, but in the past we've done music videos with people, everyone from French Montana, who's a hip hop artist, to Hunter Hayes, who is a country music star. So I love those type of collaborations. The interesting thing about Juice WRLD is because he has passed, we're able to bring his music to life in such a different way. It's a different type of collaboration. Let's see. So Kathy Alvarez asked, if AGT asked you to come back on the show, would you? So a little backstory. I was a finalist on America's Got Talent season 7, and I came in 4th place, which I'm super happy with, but I would definitely would not come back. And I have been asked, and I have declined, just because it's, again, I like to look forward and not go back. We learned a lot, we gained a lot from that experience. Plus, I don't know if you knew this, but that season, the dogs won. I don't, because I don't think about it every day. I don't do that. So has anyone I painted bought my art? Yes. You know, we've had collectors, everyone from musicians to athletes that have collected my work. So very blessed for that. All right, let's add some more. I'm just taking one look. All right, I'm gonna get some black. So I usually go back with the black to define some areas that I feel like I put too much paint on. Also to add any extra texture that I did not have before. Again, these little edges with the hair. And I'm gonna come back here, get some more white. Actually, let's get another brush. Let's get a smaller one. Because I just want to get some better highlights on here. So I'll do a highlight on some of these sections, especially defining the lips. Hey, so Thomas, any questions on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope? I'm sorry, what was the question? Oh, so do I have ever painted over a used canvas? I used to do that in the past when I had to. I had no other choice but to just reuse canvases that either didn't sell or I just, couldn't afford materials. So yes, I've done that in the past. I don't do it anymore. I just move on to the next canvas, but I've definitely had to do it in the past for sure. But if you have to do that, don't be afraid to do that. The whole thing about this art and this process and turning your passion into something that you get to provide for other people and your family for is you've got to do what works for you. There is no set way. That in some particular sports or other industries, there is a set pattern that you have to follow. And with this, there are different ways to promote your work, but how you create it is totally up to you. And if that means you got to reuse canvases, if that means you have to use different materials that other artists wouldn't normally do, you do that. You have to do what you need to do to build your brand and to build your opportunities. Let's get some, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Just wanna thank you all for watching this Art Life Live session today. As always, we try to go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I was reminded today is Friday. All right. I wanna throw, just looking through some of these colors. We use So since Most of this image is a lot of warm colors, so the skin tones, the browns, the reds. I'm using a cool color just to contrast and separate the subject from the background. Also, to leave your imagination open to where the heck he could be. All right, this is my favorite part. I'm gonna throw some paint. Quick shout out again to my nephew who is running these cameras right here. He's working very hard. I put him on the spot today, so thank you. All right, let me add some water to this paint. Go back. Let's take this dark blue. All right, come in for one last handprint. All right, take one last look at The Weeknd, inspired by his Blinding Lights song, which is still on the top of the charts. Take one last look before we log off this Art Life Live session. Check it out. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this Art Life Live session. If you're wondering how you can support these live sessions, visit garibaldiarts.com/shop. There's a link in my bio on all my platforms for that info. Also, another great way to support these channels is to share these videos, to subscribe, follow, or like. Go ahead and we'll go. There we go. All right, take one last look before we wrap this up with some shout outs. All right, everybody, welcome back. Let me wipe some of this sweat off my head. There we go. There's no awkward paints. So you've seen behind me, The Weeknd hanging out with us on this Friday. Man, I like when Blinding Lights came out on, on the radio, when it hit the internet, I felt like it was like in a time warp to like just, 80s music vibe, but you realize that sound is, timeless and classic. So The Weeknd's always given us music that feels timeless and classic with modern, all these modern twists, but mostly like a modern thought behind it all. So, and again, not only is he an inspiring writer, musician, but just another visionary, someone who creates visually as well with his videos or imagery. So, what I want to do before we log off, we are still live on all of our platforms. I just want to do a couple questions, answer some of those, and then shout you out as well. But so a lot of people asking, is it The Weeknd? Yes, it's The Weeknd. Susie Torres, Spencer, thank you for the love. Appreciate that. All right. And then are there any last minute questions over here on Instagram or TikTok that we can answer? And by the way, someone said that their uncle used to DJ at clubs here in Sacramento when I used to paint. So when I first started, actually, I'm going to share a story with you about how I started my career and how it relates to any artist getting out there and how you get out there. So I was naturally into music, pop culture, and what I did was I went to those places where people were into music and pop culture. I did not go to galleries because the subject matter of what I created was not going to appeal mostly to the audience that goes to an art gallery. They're looking for something more decorative. And maybe they were into my work. I just didn't want to waste my time going to a gallery when I just went directly to paint live at nightclubs. Now, if you don't paint live, you should still find a way to connect your artwork with that audience. So for example, I give this example a lot, but say you grew up with a passion for horses. Say you ride them, you rode them growing up, you competed. Let's just say, you know, maybe your parents were into it and you just had a little bit of inspiration. And I always encourage you, create what you're passionate about outside of art. And so say you started creating this imagery of horses because you were naturally inspired by it. Now, how do you find your buyers? How do you find your first collectors that are into that subject matter? I would assume that you would go to where those people are, at equestrian centers or equestrian events. And you can either show up, start introducing yourself, or call ahead, introduce yourself to maybe a marketing director or any type of director in that organization. Introduce yourself and try to find a way to either show your work, paint live, or even present at one of these events. And then this is the beauty of what happens when you go to places where people are into the same subject matter that you're creating, is you share a commonality and passion. It's no longer about you just being an artist and it separates you. You now are both doing what you love and you just happen to express it through art. And they may want to collect that, but either way, you connect first based on your passions, and then the art and the collecting, all that comes with it. So that story, yes, I used to paint live at different nightclubs in Sacramento, and that's how I started my career. So someone is asking, so I'm gonna just read this on YouTube. They said, idea for the future, maybe to be even more interactive with your audience. I don't think painting and talking is enough. Do something like a portrait of a random person in your audience after having them submit their pictures. All right, that's a great idea. I like that. I like the idea. Yes?
It's not a question, but you can expand on it.
Okay.
It says, even though I'm fighting cancer, your work always gives me hope and motivation to strive and take it day by day. I appreciate your work, and I would love to meet you in person one day.
All right, so that was on Instagram?
Yeah.
So someone on Instagram just shared they're fighting cancer right now, and we are here. We have your back. We want to support you and send you love. And they said, you know, can you meet me one day? I would love to meet you. I don't know how we can do it, but maybe DM me and we can start there. So whoever wrote that comment on Instagram, DM me. And also our whole Art Life family is with you in your fight in cancer, and hopefully we can meet and paint together one day. I would love that. So please DM me if that was you. What was their name? Do you remember?
King_G454.
All right, King_G454?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to remember that. And I'll look forward to your DM. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Do you guys wanna say hello at all? Yeah, come on over here. Hold on, I'm gonna introduce you guys. You guys want the family? Okay, it's all good, yeah. Whoever wants to come over. So you can either talk here. Actually, you know, can we go to this camera real quick? Can we hold this up? All right, so if you guys wanna come closer, just introduce yourself. What's your @name? Because everyone, you have a very interesting @name.
I don't remember it. It's the Deathbat Chick?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that one of them?
Yes. That's
Okay.
It's Deathbat Chick 6661.
Yes. And then this is your family
Yes.
with you today?
It's Alan. And this is Laura. And
Hello.
Ava's over there.
So she collects like almost everything that I do, like whether it's prints, masks, I mean, you name it. And I also have a drawing from you as well.
Yes.
That you created. So she did a drawing of me, brought it to one of my live shows at Ace of Spades. So I just, you know, I remember these things, and I wanted to invite them in today to actually watch the live session. They have masks on, so we're all safe. But I just wanted to thank you again for your support, and thank you guys for coming in. So hopefully we can do this again. Is that cool? Yes? All right, she said yes. All right, cool. And I'm gonna send you guys home with something special too. So I got you covered. All right, yeah. Go ahead and get comfortable. We're gonna wrap this up. They said hi, family, by the way. All right, thank you all so much for watching this Art Life Live session. we're going to wrap it up. We'll be back on Monday. But as always, I want to leave you with this encouragement. I know we're dealing with so many different situations right now. Maybe some of you have a little extra time on your hands. And maybe there's this growing curiosity of learning more about a passion that you have and turning it from a hobby into something that you do full time. And I really believe in this thing called paint. And it stands for passion, action, intent, new, and to teach. And at some point, I'm going to expand more on this. But if you can write this down, passion, action, intent, new, teach. These are principles that I have lived by my entire career. And I didn't realize it until I looked back, which is why I wanted to share it with you. But I hope that you can apply these to doing what you love. And I hope you have an amazing weekend as well. So we're going to wrap this up. My name is David Garibaldi. This was Art Life Live. And take one last look at the weekend before we sign off. There we go. All right. Thank you guys. Everything okay over here? All right. Thank you guys for watching. Just hang tight.